Welcome to the dynamic learning hub of XLR at Andheri East. A prime spot conveniently located at just a 5-minute walk from LIC Andheri Metro. In our journey of over a decade, we have proudly trained over 2 lakh students. We have also been recognized by Deloitte, Silicon India, and other accreditation bodies. Experience learning like never before in our spacious and comfortable classrooms. With high-definition projectors and state-of-the-art acoustics in place, we ensure effective learning even to the farthest point in the room. The hybrid mode is a game changer as you can enjoy the benefits of a live classroom from the comfort of your home. Even if you happen to miss any classroom session, you can still attend the same session with the same trainer at the same time at your convenience, maintaining consistency in your learning progress. Want to get started? Join us for a demo or career chat over a cup of coffee at our Andheri branch. XLR. We don't just train, we build careers.
Yes, so the collaboration with XLR was an excellent one. We conducted a Power BI workshop with Advanced Excel over a span of 3 days. The workshop was almost 12 hours long in total. Mr. Karthik, who was an amazing trainer, helped the students understand the concepts deeply. I am sure that the students will be able to apply these concepts in their careers as well as their daily lives.
The trainer, Mr. Karthik, was an excellent person where he explained in very detailed manner on how to give great insights using very complex data sets.
So it was a machine learning workshop. We learned a lot from the course and it was a great experience attending the workshop.
The trainer was very helpful. He had a hands-on approach with his teaching and it was fabulous.
This was a great experience for me. So I would absolutely love it if XLR and its team would come again to our campus and conduct more events like this.
It was a great course and it started from basics and took me to a great extent.
The experience of the workshop was really nice. The feedback from all the students was positive. They understood the concept. The workshop was also practical based with some questions. The experience with XLR was very smooth. They helped us in conducting the workshop smoothly right from the booking of the vendor and deciding the course till the distribution of certificates. In overall, this workshop was a success during our Technical Fest Atmos, and I thank XLR for being a part of it.
Good evening, all. I hope you're all doing well.
Yeah, hi, Sushma. Yes, you are audible.
Yeah, yes, sir. So you can take out the class.
Hey guys. Good evening to all. I hope I'm audible to everyone. Can someone confirm the chat box? Yeah, thank you. So let's start our session. In last class, we have discussed about what is pod, why pod, how we can able to deploy any container, any application, any container level application, how can able to deploy inside the pod. And also we have discussed how to create a pod, how to write a YAML file for pod. All these things we have discussed about in last class. So in today's class, we are going to discussing about another concept. In Kubernetes only, there is a advanced concept is there for pod. So if you want to understand about why we need to go, we have to go with the advanced concept for pod. See, you have to understand about the requirement. So then only it is easy to understand, oh, for this requirement, we need to understand this advanced concept for this pod. So for that, let me share my screen. Let me explain with a flowchart. Then it is easy to understand why we are going with another concept, advanced concept of for pod, all these things. So let me take one real-time example, real-time analogy. Then it is easy to understand. Yeah. So this is the last class what we have discussed. So let me explain. Uh, so there is a restaurant. Already we have discussed. Let me explain. It is a different analogy. Last time we have discussed a restaurant analogy for monolithic architecture and microservice architecture. But this time I'm going with I'm taking the restaurant analogy only, but it's a different concept, not monolithic architecture or microservice architecture. It's a different. That means we have to understand about pod and the next concept of advanced concept of pod. So if you want to understand about those things, let me explain with you one real-time example. Then it is easy to understand. So for that, you should understand. See, there is a restaurant. There is a restaurant. So this is my restaurant. Let me add some color. So this is my restaurant. See, there is let me name it. It's a restaurant. Yeah. See, it is a restaurant. See, if you go to any restaurant, so why usually people will go to the restaurant for having food, whatever the dish you want. So for that, you need to, if you want to add, if you want to get that. Yeah, yes. Now let me explain a restaurant. See, there is a restaurant. If first suppose if people will go to the restaurant, what is the purpose of people will go to the restaurant for having food only? So in restaurant, who will prepare the food? There is a chef. So here is the chef. So what is the primary responsibility of chef? What is the primary responsibility of chef? See, the chef has to prepare food for their customers, for their restaurant customers. So similarly, in Kubernetes cluster also, let me take in Kubernetes cluster also, let me take. So this is my cluster. This is my cluster. Let me name it. This is my cluster. Yeah. Okay. So what is the purpose of this chef? That is all about the chef has to maintain, chef has to prepare. One second. Why it's not coming? Okay, no problem. Let me take this arrow map. Yeah. So the chef is available. The chef main purpose is to prepare the food. So let me type food here. So the chef will be prepared the food. So the food will serve to the customer. So there is a customer. The food will serve to the customer. So this is all about pod. So similarly, if you take in Kubernetes, yes, I will send you GitHub repository at another session. Don't bother about. Just look at the screen. So there is a pod. In Kubernetes also, there is a pod. So in restaurant, if you compare this cluster with restaurant analogy, so chef will be act as a pod in Kubernetes cluster. So what is the responsibility of this chef in restaurant? Preparing the food. Similarly, in cluster, there is a pod. So what is the primary responsibility of pod in Kubernetes cluster? The cluster primary responsibility is to run your application. The pod has to run your application. That means the pod is main responsibility is to make available your application to the end users, to the customers. So that is the primary responsibility of pod. So that's why we are going with the real-time analogy. So let me add some text here. Application running. Application running. So this is the primary responsibility of pod. So you have deployed your pod. Inside the pod, your application is running. Then the end user can able to access your application. So let me add your client or end user. So this is the real-time analogy. So chef will be a pod. Chef will be act as a pod. Food will be act as the application running. In a restaurant also customer. In Kubernetes also there is a customer. So for suppose there is a new recipe this restaurant has the restaurant management wants to introduce new recipe. So new dish to their customers. So who will train this chef? Who will train this chef? Because of the chef doesn't know all about. Let me take with another example. So the restaurant capacity is 500 people. That means the one chef will prepare there is a one chef in a restaurant. This one chef only can handle 400 customers. That means in a day, at any time, 500 people will come. So this only one chef will prepare the food to these 500 people or 500 customers to the restaurants. For suppose the requirement is increasing. The requirement is increasing up to requirement is increasing up to 1,000 customers. That means, unfortunately, in weekends or festival seasons, 1,000 customers are visiting to the restaurants. So, is only one chef it is possible to handle these 1,000 customers to preparing the food for this all 1,000 customers? No, it is not possible. That means the chef capacity is only for preparing the food for 500 people only. The chef cannot prepare a food for up to 1,000 customers because of it. If you it will the crowd is increasing to the restaurant, so the chef cannot handle these 1,000 customers for preparing the food. So what is the solution to handle all these 1,000 customers for preparing the food? The restaurant has to hire another more chef. Okay, so let me add another chef. So the restaurant thought, okay, this only one chef cannot handle 1,000 customers or 1,500 customers or 2,000 customers. So the restaurant management hire some more chefs. So that means the restaurant has hired how many chefs? How many chefs? Three chefs hired this restaurant management. So now the thing is only only one chef capacity, what is 500. So now the hotel management had appointed 3 chefs. So now what will happen? These 3 chefs can prepare food for how many customers? 1,500 customers, because of each chef capacity is 500. So restaurant appointed 3 chefs. So now these chefs can prepare food for up to 500 people. So that is all about three chefs. So how can you able to manage this 100 customers, 1,500 customers if visiting to this to this restaurant? So similarly, there is an application. My application is running in Kubernetes cluster. So this pod only can handle up to 1,000 customers request. 100 customers request only. 100 customers request. 100 customers request. So currently in the beginning days, only 1,000 customers are visiting to the application. That one part can handle the 100 customers traffic. So when it comes to festival season, when it comes to offer season, the users customers request visiting is increasing up to 1,000. Let me take a 500 customers. So the 500 customers, towards my application, 500 customers traffic is increasing. So the one part cannot handle these 500 customers traffic. So if you want to manage these 500 customers traffic, I need to create some more parts, because of this only single pod capacity is 100 customers only. So if you want to manage 500 customers traffic in your application, you need to create some more parts. So how can you create some more parts? Similarly, in restaurants, what did restaurant management? They appointed another 3 more chefs. Similarly, you have to create another parts for maintaining your application traffic. That means based upon the application demand, you need to increase your parts, you need to decrease your parts. So this is all about another concept. So what is the another concept? So let me take one real-time example. See, there is a 3 chefs. So what we can call these 3 chefs team of chef. Okay, we can name these 3 chefs, 3 team of chef. Similarly, there is a concept for group of parts. So what is the concept? That is all about replica set. So advanced concept for pod is replica set. So now let us discuss what is a replica set, why replica sets. See, replica set is nothing but it has to make available number of parts. For suppose I want 10 parts. So that number I have to tell to this replica set. Hey, replica set, can you create 10 parts for my application? Can you create 20 parts for my application? Can you create 30 parts for my application? So the thing is, you have to tell this number to these replicas. So then only replicas will make available, will create a desired state number. Desired state number is what is the count, how many parts you want. That is called desired state number. See, 24/7, you can check your cluster at any time. The replica set will make available 10 parts, 20 parts, 30 parts. Whatever the number you have specified to your replica set, that number of parts has to make available 24/7. That is the primary responsibility of replica set. So why we need to go with replica set? Because of you don't know this, you don't know, for suppose, unfortunately, in a day, unfortunately, traffic is increasing towards your application, 1,000 customers. So you don't know how can you create another more parts for managing these 1,000 customers. See, it is difficult to create manually parts, 1,000 parts. So you can, for suppose if you are using replica set, you can just tell the number. For suppose 50 parts can handle these 1,000 customers traffic. So the number you have to specify inside the replica set. Then replica set will create another more parts for managing to your 100 customers traffic. For suppose traffic is increasing 1 lakh or 10,000, traffic is increasing up to 10,000. So what will happen that time? I need to increase more parts. So by manually, it will take more time. So you have to automate this process within fraction of seconds only. You have to create another more parts based upon your application demand or requirement. So for suppose, for managing this 10,000 customers traffic, I need to create 100 parts. 100 parts only can manage 1,000 traffic customers, 1,000 customers traffic. So what I need to do, just you have to mention the number 100. Here replica set, please create 100 customers for managing my application traffic. So for suppose traffic is decreasing up to 100 only. Traffic is decreasing up to 100 only. So if you want decrease rest of parts, unused parts. So how can you decrease unused parts? So you have to tell the number. Hey, replica set, towards my application, traffic is increasing. I don't want this number of parts. Can you scale down my parts up to 10, from 100 to 10? So you have to go to the replica set, then change the number from 100 to 10. Then replica set will create will delete rest of 90 parts. Remaining 90 parts, replica set will delete. Then replica set will keep only 10 parts for managing your application 100 customers traffic. So this is how replica set will plays a key role in Kubernetes cluster. So this is advanced concept of pod. So why we are going with replica set? This is the reason only. Similarly, in restaurant analogy also, same example. For suppose the traffic is the customers increasing up to 5,000. So how in a day 5,000 customers are visiting to this restaurant. So for preparing a food for these 5,000 customers, the restaurant has to hire another more chefs. Restaurant has to hire another more chefs. So they have to they have to hire some more chefs for managing 5,000 customers. So this is how. So what is the name in restaurant analogy? Team of chef. So we can name team of chef. So team of chef will be act as a replica set in Kubernetes cluster. So now let us discuss how to create a replica set. How replica set will create a number of parts for your application. So all these things, let us discuss. So we need one cluster. So for that, I'm going to taking a Killer Code lab. Already we have discussed. So how we can able to write a pod YAML file. So similarly, here you don't need to write. For suppose, let me take. So now, for suppose, if I don't want replica set, if I don't want to use this replica set, but I want to create 10 parts. I want to create 10 parts. So what I need to do? But I don't want if you don't want to use replica set. So for that, I need to write 10. I need to write 10 pod YAML files. I need to write 10 pod YAML files. 10 pod YAML files. So each YAML file will take 2 minutes time. 2 minutes. So for 10 pod YAML files, how much time it will take? 20 minutes. For 10 pod YAML files, for 10 pods YAML file, how much time it will take? 20 minutes. 20 minutes. See, it is taking 20 minutes. See, it is consuming more time. But if you go with the replica set will create within the 2 minutes only. Within the 2 minutes, replica set will create 200 parts. 200 parts. 2000 parts. 2000 parts or 2 lakh parts or 2 crore parts. So that is the power of replica set. So now let us discuss so now it is clear what is a replica set, why we are going with the replica set. So if you go to the official document, you can understand more about what is replica set. Replica set in KATS. So there is a definition. So what is the purpose of replica set? Replica set purpose is to maintain stable set of replica parts. See, stable set of replica parts, it is nothing but a group of parts. So running at any given time. See, at any given time is nothing but 24/7. So it is the responsibility of replica set. It is the headache of replica set. I don't know what replica set can do. Whatever you want, you can do replica set. But you have to create for my application 100 parts, 1000 parts, 10,000 parts at any given time. That is your responsibility. That is all about a replica set. So the replica set purpose is to maintain a set of replica parts running at any given time. So you have to specify the number. See, you have to understand over here. A replica set is identified with fields, including a selector that specify how to identify parts it can acquire. So a number of replica set indicating. So that is it is nothing but you have to tell the number, how many parts you want to create for your application. So now let us discuss how can able to write a YAML file or how can able to create a replica set. So if you are going with replica set, you don't need to create a pod individually or manually or separately. You don't need to write any pod YAML file also. YAML file also for pod. So a replica set will create pods only. So now let me explain how can able to write replica set. So I'm going to create one file, my replica set dot YAML. Hit the enter. Press -y. See, what is the first instruction? API version apps v1. See, remember, for pod, you can use version as v1 only. But for replica set, you should use API version as apps/v1. So then you know about kind. So what is the purpose of kind? It will define your object. That means replica set, capital R, just type replica, capital S set. Okay, you have to follow the syntax. Then only this YAML file will create a replica set for your application. Kind replica set. Hit the enter. You need to provide a meaningful name to your replica set. So how can you provide a meaningful name to your replica asset? And you have to use metadata. Under the metadata, just type name, hit the enter. So you can provide my iPhone replica. My iPhone replica. So this is my replica name. So now we have to understand about how we can able to write a pod YAML file for replica set. So first let me complete the entire YAML file. Then I will explain line by line. Okay. So firstly, you need to use spec. So what is mean by spec? See, spec is nothing but a specification. That means whenever you want to specify some data regarding your replica set, you should use spec as a section for specifying. So that is the purpose of, that is the meaning of spec. Hit the enter. So now we need to give two indentation. Already we have discussed what is meant by indentation. Indentation is nothing but where we should give space, where we should not give space. So that is all about indentation. So now let me explain. Next, you have to understand about replicas. Replicas. So hit the enter. So here you need to here you need to tell the number. Here you need to specify the number. For suppose I want to create 10 parts. So I should mention 10. If you want to create 20 parts, mention 20. If you want 30, mention 30. 40, mention 40. 50, mention 50. 100, mention 100. 1000, mention 1000. 10,000, 1 lakh, 10 lakhs, 1 crore. So like that, you can able to specify the number. So now I want to create 10 parts only. So that's why I'm going to specifying the number. It is 10. So what is mean by 10? We should call, we are calling this desired state number. So that is meaning of replicas at 10. Okay. If someone will ask, what is your replicas at desired state? So you should say, what is the number you have defined inside your YAML file, replicas at YAML file. So that number you have to tell, oh, this is the 10 is our replicas at desired state. So like that you have to communicate with our team. So that is all about replicas section. So now let us discuss next section in Kubernetes in replicas at YAML file. So you should start selector. So what is the purpose of selector? I will explain once I complete the YAML file. Selector, you should use selector, end with colon. Exactly under selector, give two indentation. Then type match labels. Then type match labels. End with colon. See, in match labels, L capital letter. Then only it will work. Otherwise, it won't work. Match labels. Then hit the enter. Under match label, give two indentation. Just type app. So mention your label name. See, now I mention label name as IPL. Okay. Now exactly under selector. See, there is a selector, right? Exactly under selector, you should specify template. You should specify template. End with colon. Exactly under template, just give two indentation. 1, 2. Just give two indentation. Then mention metadata. Don't get confused. I will explain line by line. What is the purpose of this template, selector, match label, app, metadata? I will explain. So exactly under metadata, just type labels. Just type labels. Hit the enter. Exactly under labels, give two indentation. Just type app, end with colon. See, here you need to specify the label name as IPL. See, same label name here you need to use. So why we should give label name both places same label name? I will explain what is the purpose of why we have to specify. We have to use same label name in both places. So let me complete. Now you need to specify your container information. That means container name, container image, container port number. So all these things you have to specify inside replication YAML file also. How we can able to specify? Exactly under metadata, again you have to specify spec, enter. So under the spec, you should use name, no, containers. You should specify containers, end with colon. Exactly under containers, give to indentation, mention hyphen, give space, just type name, end with colon, C1. So C1 is my container name. You can give whatever you want, the container name. Then image. You have to specify your Docker image. Where it is available? In your hub.docker.com only. So let me go to my hub.docker.com. Then let me copy my image name, my Docker image name. Let me copy my Docker image name. Yeah, I logged in. For suppose, if I want to deploy, some application where it is, let me go to the next page. Yeah, come down, look for IPL. IPL is not there. Okay, no, fine. Let's take Netflix. So there is a Netflix application. Just click on here. Go to the tags. So copy your image name. So this is my image name. So this image name only you have to provide inside your application YAML file. Then application will create a pod. Pod will deploy your container application inside the pod. So now what is the next concept? What is the next section? That is all about container port number. So you have to specify your container port number. So just let me mention ports, end with the colon. Exactly under ports, give to indentation, hyphen, container port number. Container port number, capital P in port. Okay. Then you should specify your port number. That is all about. So now let me explain what is this replicated YAML file. So firstly, first four instructions you know about. So what is the meaning of API version? What is the purpose of kind? What is mean by metadata? What is mean by this name? So now let me explain what is mean by spec. See, spec stands for specifications. That is all about specification. So then you should specify your disaster number. How can you define the disaster number? It is nothing but how many parts you require for your application. So if you want to specify the required number inside the replication YAML file, you should use this replicas instruction. So that is the purpose of replicas instructions. So then what is mean by selector? What is mean by match labels? What is mean by app? So why we should specify the selector, match labels, app label? It is nothing but so the replicator has to create 10 parts. So you need to provide a label name for your replica set. So that is all about this label name. So if you want to provide a label name, you should follow this app instructions. If you want to specify, if you want to use this app instructions, you should use match label instructions. If you want to use this match label instructions, you should specify this selector. So there is a interrelation between selector, match label, app. So this is all about label name. So by using this label name, replica set will create our parts. So that is all about this label name. So what about this template? What about this metadata? What about these labels? What about this app label? See, let me explain. So this template, this metadata, this label, this app IPL label. So this template is going to assign this label to our pod. So what does it mean by pod? Inside the pod only, our country will be deployed. So you need to assign a label name to your pod. So who will assign this label name to your pod, this template only. So that's why we have used template metadata labels. So now this label name has been assigned successfully to our pod. So why here we have to use same label name here and here, because whenever any pod got deleted out of 10, for suppose I am running 10 parts, out of 10 parts, unfortunately, 2 parts got deleted. So then what is immediately replication will do? Immediately replication will create another 10 parts. Why? Because 24/7 replication has to make available 10 parts. So if any part got deleted out of 10, how replica set will recognize your part by using this label name only. So that's why here and here you should use same label name. So this label name will help whenever any part got deleted, immediately by recognizing this label, replication will create a new part. So, and also this template will assign this label name to our pod. Then the label name is matching. Oh, a label name is matching. The label name has been assigned to this part. Then I want to create another pod for this application, because out of 10, one part got deleted. So this is how replication will recognize your part by using this label. So this is the purpose of label. So for suppose if you give here some label name, different label name, here if you give here different label name, it won't work. Pod will be created, don't problem. But whenever out of 10 parts, any part got deleted, at that time, replica set will not create a new pod because of IPL, the label name has been failed. Label name is mismatched. So that is the reason only you should use same label name here and here. So this first label name will help to the replica set whenever any part got deleted. So this template label name will be assigned to your pod. So that is the purpose of this label name. So now clear about what is meant by replica set, how we can able to write a replica set for our application. So if you go with the real terminology, so team of chefs. Here also team of replica sets, team of parts. So team of parts named replica set. So now my application can handle up to 1,000 customers traffic, because of I'm going to creating 10 parts for managing 1,000 customers traffic. So for suppose if I want to manage 10,000 customers traffic, I should increase 10 to 100. So if I want to manage 1 lakh customers traffic, I should increase 100 to 1,000 parts. So like that you can able to increase the number, like that you can able to decrease the number for based upon the your application demand. So this is all about what is mean by replica set. So now let me explain how we can able to create a replica set. So let me close this file. Let me check is there any type of mistakes. API version. Remember, usually people will confuse API version. Usually we will use pod v1, but when it comes to replica set, you should use apps for us v1. Remaining everything is same. Replica set, okay, metadata name, spec replica set selector, match labels correct, app correct, template correct, metadata labels app correct, spec containers is correct, hyphen name correct. Okay. Now let me explain. See, inside the YAML file, why we will use this hyphen? What is the purpose of this hyphen? See, whenever I attend any interview, for one interview, I got a question regarding this hyphen in YAML file. So the interviewer has been asked me why we will use hyphen in YAML file. So what is the purpose of hyphen? See, hyphen, hyphen. What is the purpose of hyphen? It is nothing but it will list your names. See, name is nothing but, for suppose, here I created only one container. For suppose, if I want to create another container, so again I need to create, again I need to provide another name, container name. So let me write here. Then it is easy to understand why we will use hyphen. So C hyphen 2, Then come to here. Then mention image. For suppose Nginx. I'm using Nginx. Then hit the enter. Then ports. Ports. So under the ports, give to indentation. Container port 80. So here I'm going to creating two containers. So C-1 is first container, C-2 is container. For suppose I want to call only second container. So how can I call? This hyphen will help. So that is, it is nothing but in YAML file, hyphen will list names. It may be container name, it may be replicas name, it may be container, it may be any name. That is the purpose of hyphen. Okay, remember, whenever if someone will ask what is the purpose of hyphen in the YAML file, you should say it will list the names. It may be any name. Okay, now let me save, let me close, escape, WQ, give ls, just do a cat command. You need to cross check, right, whether your data is saved or not. See, data is saved. My API version, kind, metadata, spec, replica set, selector, match labels, app, template, metadata, label, spec, selector, containers. So now let me explain how we can able to create the replica set. So before that, let me check how many parts are there. kubectl get parts. See, it is clearly telling no resources found in default namespace. So that means we need to create parts. Okay. Now let me apply this YAML file. Let me run kubectl apply -f my YAML file name. So hit the enter. See, replica set dot apps my-replica created. So now you can check kubectl get parts. See, 10 parts are creating 11 seconds ago. What is the status? Container creating, container creating, container creating. If I check another again, see, all containers are running. See, what is the name? My-replica. It is pod ID. Okay, ready is 1 by 1. So this is how can able to create a parts with the help of a replica set. For example, if you go with pod YAML file, how much time it will take? 20 minutes. But within 2 minutes or 5 minutes only, I have created 10 parts. That is the power of replica set. And also, you have to look for replica set also, because of we have created replica set, right? So how can we check replica set? kubectl get rs. See, rs stands for replica set. You can use full name replica set, or else you can use rs. Hit the enter. See, this is my replica name. Desired state. It is very, very important. What is the desired state number? 10. What is the current number? 10. Ready number? 10. 69 seconds ago. For suppose, what will happen if I delete any part? What will happen? Because of if I delete any part, immediately replica set has to create another part. Why? Because of at any given runtime, if you look at the screen, at any given time. So parts running at any given time. So that is the main purpose, to maintain stable set of replicas of parts running at any given time. So that is the main purpose. So now let me delete the part, one part. So how can we delete any part? How can we delete any part? What is the command? kubectl delete part, then mention your part name. Okay, this is our resource type. So then you need to provide a resource name for this resource type. So for suppose I want to delete a last part. So this is my part name. Copy, paste it, hit the enter. So remember the ID. So my-replica is same for all parts, but ID is different. What is the ID? Last 2 digits, 8T. So remember this ID. Hit the enter. It is deleting. Yeah. If I check kubectl get parts, see, look for the new part. 7 seconds ago. But you can look for this part. What is the ID? 8T. See, there is no any part named with 8 D2, PG, 2G, 2ZG, 54, 48, 4V, X8. So now let me delete another part also. Let's see what will happen. kubectl delete pod. So let me delete this first pod. First pod. Hit the enter. It's deleted. Check duplicate pods. See, 3 seconds ago, new pod is came up. So that is the power of replica set. kubectl delete a pod, another pod also. Let me delete. Hit the enter. Let's see. See, 2 seconds. New pod is creating. For suppose my application traffic is increasing. So how can my application traffic is increasing up to 1,000. So how can I manage this? Not 1,000, 500 only. So how can I increase the parts for managing 500 customers traffic? I need to go to the ML file. I need to go to the ML file of replica set, open, press I, come to the replicas number. So change the number 20. Now save escape the colon WQ, hit the enter. Then run your ML file. kubectl apply -f, hit the enter. See, whenever you have changed your ML file, after that, whenever you are going to apply or running your ML file, it will show you configured. Hit the enter. See, configured. That means my changes has been configured. That means my changes has been applied. So now you can check future get pods. See, new another 10 pods got created. 10 seconds, 10 seconds, 10 seconds, 10 seconds, 10 seconds. Here 10 seconds, here 10 seconds. That is the power of replica set. If we check, yeah. Then check kubectl replicas also. kubectl get RS. Let's see what will happen. See, digest number has been changed as a 20, current 20, current 20. So now traffic is decreasing towards my application. Only 50 customers are visiting my application. So now I need to decrease my parts. Why? I need to reduce the cost for my client. Okay, so that's why you need to reduce unused parts. So how can you reduce? Yeah, again, open your ML file, replication ML file, open, press I, just come to here, just change the number 5 only. Escape, WQ, then apply then run your ML file. See, configured. Now check kubectl get parts. See, terminating. Rest of 15 parts are terminating. Now let me check. See, 15 parts got deleted or terminated. Only 5 parts running. If you check kubectl RS also, replica set also, the digest number will be changed as 5. See, digest number 5. So this is all about, this is the power of replica set. So now you need to understand about how to delete replica set. As of now, we have discussed how to write a YAML file for replica set, how to delete a pod, how to change the digest number, how to decrease the pods, how to increase the pods. All these things we have discussed. Now you have to understand about how to delete this replica set. So same command you can use. What is the command? kubectl delete pod, right? So here you need to specify kubectl delete rs, then your replica set name only. Replica's name. It got deleted. If you check kubectl get rs, no resource found in default namespace. And also you can check parts also. No resources found in default names. Why? Replica set has been terminated or deleted. So similarly, parts also will be deleted. So that is all about what is a replica set, why replica set, how we can able to write a YAML file for our replica set, how we can able to increase the digit set number, how we can able to decrease the number of parts, all these things we have discussed. So now let me explain. Just come to here. Just come to here. Just to focus on the flowchart. Focus on the flowchart. Focus on the flowchart. Yeah. Okay. Just take this example again. Just take again same example only. Already we have discussed chef responsibility, food. So food will be served to the customer. The part responsibilities, application running. So the end users can able to access your application. But then we have discussed about team of chefs also. So what will do team of chefs? So let me continue with this analogy. There is a team of chef. So now we know we don't need single chef. Similarly, we don't need a single pod also because of we are going with team of chefs in restaurant. We are going with team of pods in replication. That is all about replication in cluster. So let me take so the in restaurant restaurant has team of chefs. Restaurant has team of chefs. Yeah, they are preparing food for their customers. For their customers, they are preparing food. Their customers. Yeah. So similarly, in cluster also, we have replica set for managing our disaster number based upon our application requirement. So we have a replica set also. Let me get replica set. Replication controller, replication. Okay, let us take pod, group of pod. So there is a group of pods. The group of pod will be act as a replica set. So we have to discuss advanced concept for this part. So we have discussed advanced concept for part. So now we have to discuss about advanced concept for this replica set, right? So if you want to understand about why we are going with another level of concept for this replica set, let me explain. So this is the replica set. So now time is 8 p.m. Everyone take a break for 15 minutes. By 8:15, we will continue our session. Okay, everyone go for a break. Yeah, hey guys, I hope you came back. Can someone confirm the chat box? Then we will continue our session. So now let me explain. Hamid asking, sir, can you explain again the concept and parts using the restaurant example? Okay, for Hamid request, and let me explain. Just recap. Someone asked the repository. I have provided the repo URL in the chat box. You can check out. Then let's look at the screen. Okay. See, there is a restaurant. So why usually people will go to the restaurant? Because for having the food. Okay. So who will prepare the food in restaurant? That is all about chef. That means without having chef, no one can prepare, in no restaurant can prepare food for their customers. So that is the reason only I have taken the restaurant analogy for comparing cluster topics. So in restaurant, chef will be act as a pod. So in cluster, pod will be act as a restaurant. So pod will be act as a chef. So what is the primary responsibility of chef to preparing the food? Similarly, in Kubernetes cluster also, pod primary responsibility is to application running. That means the pod has to run your application. That means inside the pod only, your application will be deployed and run. So once your application is running, end users can able to access your application. Similarly, once the chef is prepared the food will be served to the restaurant customers. Okay. So the one chef capacity is only 500 customers. That means for 500 customers only, the single chef can prepare the food. For suppose the towards restaurant, 1,000 customers are visiting. So how can the restaurant can manage for preparing the food for this number of customers by having only one single chef? No, it is not possible. So that's why restaurant management appointed and another two more chefs. So here, so these three chefs can prepare food for 1,500 customers when it comes to their restaurant. So that is all about chef responsibility, food, pod responsibility, application running. So we have given a name. These three chefs, it is nothing but team of chefs. So similarly, in Kubernetes also, we have to maintain group of pods, set of pods for managing your application traffic. See, this one single pod can manage only 100 customers traffic. When it comes to 1,000 customers traffic, how can only one pod can manage 1,000 customers traffic? It is not possible. For suppose if you are running only one pod, but 1,000 customers are visiting to your application, sometimes your pod will be get down. Your pod will be crash. Your pod will be deleted. So ultimately, your application getting down. So users will switch to the another application. So for avoiding this advantage, so you need to keep your customers with your application. You need to save your application cost. See all these things. So if you don't want to lose your customers, if you don't want to lose your money, your revenue of your application, you should find a solution. So what is the solution? Replica set only. Replica set will maintain group of pods for managing or for maintaining your users, customers traffic. So one pod capacity is 100 customers traffic. For suppose if here you have 1,000 customers traffic. So how many pods you need to increase? One pod 100 customers. So you need to increase 10 pods. So the 10 pods will manage 1,000 customers traffic. So then then you don't lose your customers. You will earn your money, application or revenue or money. So this is the power of replica set. So clear about this concept, pod and restaurant analogy, Amit or others also. Still it is confusion. Just please let me know in the chat box. I will explain again. Yeah, thank you. So now let's discuss about advanced concept of a replica set. See, all day we have discussed uh, team of chef, team of chef. Okay, so this team of chef main responsibility is to preparing the food for their customers. So similarly, there is a replica set. The replica set will need to create parts. Replica set responsibility is to create pod. Then pod responsibility is to make application running. Then end users can able to access your application. So this is the scenario. So now let me discuss another advanced concept in Kubernetes cluster. That is all about, if you want to explain that advanced concept, it is difficult. So now let me explain with an analogy only. Okay, so let me stop it. Let me take text. So look at this, sorry. Just to look at the screen. Okay, see the same restaurant only. The restaurant has, the restaurant want to introduce new recipe or new dish or new food item. No, so new food item. So this is the requirement. The hotel requirement. What was the hotel requirement? The restaurant management decided we want to introduce some new recipe or some new dish, some new food item for our customers for grabbing more customers. Okay, yeah, generally in current situation also, restaurants usually will do this same process only. So who will tell? Now the question is that there is a dish, there is a recipe. The recipe want the restaurant management decided to introduce a new recipe to their customers. That's clear. So restaurant management cleared the recipe name and ingredients also. Okay. So now who will train this recipe to these chefs? So who will train? They have to train. They have to know how to prepare or how to cook this new recipe. So who will train? See, for suppose, if you go to the any private hostels or university hostels or any hostel, definitely there will be a head cook, right? So what is the responsibility of head cook? The head cook is responsibility is to manage junior chefs. So how many chefs are there under the head cook? Is responsibility to manage or to guide or to prepare, to train all junior chefs. So then only junior chefs can learn about new recipes. Then junior chefs can prepare new recipes to their students. Similarly, in any restaurant, there will be a group of chefs. There will be a head cook or head chef also. So that is the primary responsibility of head chef. Head chef, the restaurant management has instructed to the head chef. Hey, head chef, the management has decided. Management has decided want to introduce new recipe. So we are going to giving all details of the new recipe. Just you need to train your junior chefs. So how many chefs we have in restaurant? Please go to them. Just train them how to prepare this new recipe. So similarly, what is the solution in restaurant for training about new recipe? The solution is head cook, head chef. So restaurant has head chef. So what is the primary responsibility of head chef? To train. Let me take text. It is better. Let me stop it. Yeah. So what is the primary responsibility of this head chef? Need to train junior chefs, train junior chefs about new recipe, about new recipes. So this is the primary responsibility of head chef. So head chef by then junior chef. So he is a junior chef. So junior chef was trained by this head chef. Then this junior chef will prepare food. Will prepare the new recipe. Will prepare the new recipe for their restaurant customers. This junior chef. Let me, yeah. So this junior chef will prepare the new recipe. Yeah, that's correct. Now let me take text. New recipe. New recipe. Food. So now they will serve the new recipe to whom? Their restaurant customers only. Their restaurant customers. So this is what usually happens in restaurants. So similarly, if you come to the cluster analogy. So now there is a Flipkart application or Amazon application or take WhatsApp application or any application. So for suppose my application is running. My application is running fine in a cluster. My application is running fine. After some days, after some time, the client wants introduce new feature in their application. So this is the requirement. For suppose they want to introduce about voice text. So customers will visit the Flipkart application. See, there is a voice text also. By using the voice symbol, they can talk. They can speak. Hey Flipkart, can you show me Realme mobiles, Realme smartphones, Apple smartphones, or Samsung smartphones? So no need to type. The Flipkart application owner has decided no need to type manually customers for searching their products. So I want to introduce voice text. So by using the voice symbol, users can able to speak whatever they want. It may be gadgets, it may be dresses, it may be shoes, whatever it may be. So this new feature wants introduced to the existing application. So there is a replica set, right? Replica set is creating the pods. Pod is running your application. User is accessing your application. But this new feature has to introduce to the application. So who will update this new feature to this replica set in Kubernetes cluster? In restaurant analogy, head chef only will update this about this new recipe to their junior chefs. So similarly in cluster also, who will update this new feature to the replica set. So what is the solution? That is all about deployment. So there is a solution. There is a solution that is all about deployment. So why we need to understand about deployment? Now you can understand. You could understand. So the deployment will be act as a head cook. In restaurant, there is head cook. Similarly, in cluster also, deployment will be act as a head cook. So deployment, what is the main responsibility of deployments? See, you need to, the deployment has to update application features. So whenever any new releases will come to your application, the entire about these new releases deployment only will guide to your replica set. Hey, replica set, I have one new feature regarding our application. So I'm going to updating that about a new feature regarding our application to you. Please try to create a new part with this new updation. So then only the new feature users can able to access. That is all about voice feature. So this is all about deployment. So now let me explain in cluster terminology. Now let us discuss what is mean by deployment in cluster terminology. So go to the official document. Go to the official document. Just type deployment. Just type deployment. Click on here. So what is meaning by deployment? Already we have discussed with the hotel restaurant analogy. So now let us discuss more about what is mean by deployment. See, a deployment manages a set of parts to run an application workload. Similarly, in restaurant also, head cook is to manage junior chefs and also about new recipes. So new recipes is nothing but food workload. So food workload. So similarly, in Kubernetes also, deployment is to maintain a set of parts. A set of parts to run your application workload. So workload is nothing but all about your features of your application. So that is all about deployment. So now deployment provides a declarative updates for parts and replica sets. That means deployment only will manage your part and will manage replica sets. Similarly, in hotel analogy, head cook only will manage single chef. Head cook only will manage group of chefs. Similarly, in Kubernetes cluster also, deployment will manage single pod. Deployment will manage group of pod. That is all about replica set. So that is the meaning of this line. Deployment provides a one second. Deployment will provide declarative updates to whom your parts, your replica set. That means inside deployment only, your parts going to be running, your replica set going to be creating. So then deployment will provide declarative updates. What is mean by declarative update? Similarly, whenever the head cook want to try the new recipes to their chefs, similarly deployment also will update, will provide declarative update about your application new features. It may be voice text, it may be type text, whatever it may be. The any feature will come to your application, deployment only will provide declarative updates. So that's why we are going with the deployment. See, you may have one question, sir. Ultimately, we need one part, right? So replica set only will create the part. Then why we are going with the deployment? The answer is replica set is responsible to create only pod. Replica set doesn't know about your application. Replica set only will know about your pod only. What is happening inside the pod? How many containers are running? What is container name? What is your Docker image name? What is your container port number? All these things replica set doesn't know. So that is the reason only we are going with deployment. So deployment only will knows about your application stuff, your application, your container image name, your container name, your container image name, your container port number. So all these things only deployment knows what is happening inside your pod. But why you need a replica set? Because of deployment will not handle this desired number. So how many at any given time you need, if you suppose if you want to run, if you want 10 parts 24/7, if you told this information to your deployment don't know about this. So that's why we are going with replica set. That's why we are going with deployment. So that is the difference between replica set and deployment. So if someone will ask, if you attend any interview, the interviewer will ask you why we are going with a deployment instead of replica set. You should say replica set knows about only pod. Replica set don't know about our application. So that is the reason only we are going with the deployment. And also replica set will not support rolling updates, rollout updates. What is meaning by rolling update? What is mean by rollout updates? Whenever you want to update, whenever you want to add new features to your application, deployment can handle rolling updates, but replication will not handle rolling updates. Why? Replication don't know about your application stuff. Replication only knows about your part. So then it will create the parts. So that is the reason only we are going with the deployment. So you can describe your desired state in a deployment, and the deployment controller changes the actual state to the desired state. That means inside the deployment YAML file only, you can able to specify the desired number to the to whom replica set only. So that is the reason only I'm telling deployment will handle parts, deployment will handle replica sets. So now you don't need to write a YAML file for replica set. So just now, as of now, we have created one replica YAML file, right? So now you don't need to write a YAML file for replica set because replica set is going to manage handling by the deployment. So under the deployment YAML file, you can specify your pod information. You can specify your replica set desired state number. So that is this is what deployment. So now now it is clear about why we are going with the deployment or what is meant by deployment. So you can define deployments to create new replica sets or to remove existing deployments. So that is all about what is meant by deployment, what is meant by pod, what is meant by replica set. I will answer all your questions at the end of the session. Okay, just to look at the screen, then I will answer each and every question. Don't bother about. So this is all about deployment. So now you have to understand about. See, clearly I am telling here. See, deployment only will provide the declarative updates to your parts and replica assets. Okay, it is nothing but deployment will create parts. Deployment will create replica assets. So now how deployment will create parts, will create replica sets. For that, we should understand about how to write a YAML file for deployment. So now let me go to the Killer Coda lab. Just try to sorry, let me log out. Session has expired. Playgrounds. So now let us discuss how to write a YAML file for deployment. Okay, same YAML file. There is no any change. Whatever we have discussed so far about replica YAML file, same YAML file only we are using for deployment. So don't bother about, don't get confusion. Okay, just you need to change the kind. So in kind for replica YAML file, in kind we have defined as replica set, but you have to change kind as deployment. Then it will be act as a deployment. So let me create a YAML file, deployment .yaml. vi space my hyphen deployment. So let me open. What is the first instructions? API version end with colon apps /v1. Remember, remember for replica set and deployment only, you should use API version as apps /v1. So then only it will work. Then only it will work. So then you should define your kind. So what is mean by kind? Kind will define your object. So here, what is our object? Deployment. Previously, we have defined replica set, right? So you should change your deployment. So capital D, then only it will work. Hit the enter. So you need to provide a meaningful name to your deployment or your kind. How can you define? By using metadata. Metadata is nothing but it will contain your kind details or name. So my hyphen deployment. So this is my deployment name. So same, whatever we have discussed so far about replica set YAML file, same instructions here you have to copy paste. Don't need to write again. So just spec, just mention replicas, mention the number, then use selector, then use selector, then under the selector, what we have to specify? Match label. Same YAML file only we have used for replica setup. Under the match label, what we have specified? Label app. So I used IPL. Then you should specify template. So far, this label name is for replica set. Whenever any part got deleted, immediately by recognizing this label name, your replica set will be created another new part. So now let me explain. So same label name only you have to assign to your pod. So for that we should use template. So template metadata. Under metadata, just type labels. Then under the labels app, then same label name. So that means the template is going to assign this label name to our pod. So now the label name is matching. So now you should specify your container information to the pod. So how can you specify? Containers, end with colon, and give two indentation hyphen. I discussed about hyphen also. What is the purpose of hyphen in YAML file? It will list names. So C hyphen 1, hit the enter. Then type image. So then you should provide your image name. So let me copy my image name, come to the lab, paste your image name. Then you should specify your container port number, right? Your container port. Sorry, we should use ports, not directly container ports. We should use ports. Then under the ports hyphen, then you can mention your container name. Container capital P port. See, don't forget syntax. So here you need to use capital V. Here you need to use small capital L. Sorry, I mentioned small l. Here you need to use capital L for in match labels. Then only it will work. And container port also, you should use a capital P here. So this is how we can able to write a YAML file for deployment. So this YAML file, what will do? It will create pod. It will create a replica set. Replica set will create 10 parts. So this is all about what is meaning by replica set. So now let me close this file. Let me cross check API version apps v1 kind deployment metadata name my deployment spec replicas correct selector match labels. Okay, app template metadata labels app spec containers, okay, name, image, ports, container, port. That's it. So now let me close. Now let me do cat command. Let me do cat command. Okay, it's saved. So before creating deployment, let me check, is there any resources available? kubectl get deployments. So whenever you want to see any deployment in your cluster, you should use this command, kubectl get deployments or deployment. Hit the enter. See, no resources found in default namespace. So now let me run this YAML file, kubectl apply -f, then mention your YAML file. See, deployment.apps, my-deployment created. So now you need to check three things. Firstly, you need to check your deployment. Secondly, you need to check your replica set. Thirdly, you need to check your parts. Okay. First, let me check deployments. What is the command? kubectl get deployments, hit the enter. See, this is my deployment name, my-deployment. Same name only. Inside my YAML file, I given. What is the ready state? 10 by 10. What is up to date? 10. Available? 10. What is the age? 26 seconds ago. So now what is second point you have to check? kubectl get rs. See, my-deployment, digit state number 10, current, ready date, steady state 10, 46, age is 46 seconds ago. So what is the third step we have to check? kubectl get pods. See, 10 pods are created 63 seconds ago. Okay, this is how we can able to this is how we can able to understand about deployment. So for suppose, see, already we have discussed, head cook, whenever restaurant wants to introduce new recipe, so they will direct to the head cook only. So head cook only will direct or will train to their junior chef. Similarly, deploy whenever whenever client wants to introduce new feature to their application, so you should update to deployment only. So through the deployment only, you can update, you can add new features to your application. So now I want to change that application. So how can I change? So let me change my new image, because of whenever any feature will be added to your application source code, every time they have to build new Docker image. So already we have discussed in Docker, whenever new features will be added to your application source code, every time you have to build a new Docker image. So that new Docker image, you have to specify, you have to provide inside your deployment YAML file only. So then only that new features will be deployed into your cluster. Then user can able to access your new features of your application. So for that, let me get a new image. So let me get new image. Let me take any application. Let me take okay, let me take Apache web app. Click on the tags, copy the image. So this is my new image name. Okay, that means new recipe. In the analogy, this is a new recipe. So to whom I need to update this new image? To deployment only. So open your deployment YAML file. Open, change the image name. Remember, in real time, every time your Docker image has to be changed whenever you want to deploy new releases. So old image will not work. Okay. Now close. So now how you can deploy your new features? Just need to run your YAML file only. kubectl apply -f. See configured. See new releases has been configured, has been deployed in to my application. Because of deployment only can handle updates, rolling updates. So that's why we are going with the deployment. For suppose, if you are using replica.yaml YAML file, if you are using replica.yaml YAML file, if you change any Docker image, if you do any rollout, the change will not be applied. So once you configure, you need to roll it your deployment YAML deployment. So how can you roll it your YAML your deployment? Let me explain. What is the command? For that you need deployment, right? kubectl get all. See, there is a pod. See, 30 seconds ago, because of 49 seconds ago, 38 seconds ago, 36 seconds ago, 49 seconds ago, 32 seconds ago. Previously, it is showing 63 seconds. Because of I have changed my Docker image. So I have added a new feature to my application. So automatically deployment will update new features to the replica set. See, there is a new feature 50 seconds ago. So this is my old feature of application. This is my new feature. So now the deployment only, see, but there is no any second deployment. Only there is one deployment, but there is second new replica set too. So this is how deployment will handle rolling updates, or new features of your application. So that is the power of deployment. And also we have to know about rolling command. So how can you, whenever you want to roll out, whenever you want to roll out your deployment, what is the command? See kubectl rollout, restart, then mention deployment resource type. So you should mention resource type name. This is my deployment name. The enter. See, deployment restarted. So this is how you can able to roll it. If you apply this command to the replica set, it won't accept because of replica set will not handle rolling updates. So that is a reason only we are going with the deployment. So now you can ask any question. Let me check the questions. Sir, there is a head pod through which new application is introduced in the junior pods. So, okay, new features, same application, not other apps. Hamid, I didn't understand your question. Can you promise? Understood. There is a pod and replica set of pods for more number of traffic management application. Then for new features of application, we are asking deployment to update application in the pods and replica sets. Yes, correct. Whatever you have mentioned, whatever you have asking the question, yes. Clear, Hamid? Still, should I explain? Okay, if anyone have any questions, please ask me. I will explain. If you have confusion with the rational analogy, you can please ask. I will explain. Don't keep your questions with you. Please share here. Others also will understand your question. No problem. You can go with the recording video. Anyone have any questions, please? Still we have 5 more minutes. We can discuss, we can have. If anyone having any questions, please you can ask, don't hesitate. These are the core concepts in Kubernetes. Pod, replica set, deployments are core concepts. Without understanding these concepts, you cannot work with Kubernetes. Susmita, can you share the attendance link? Someone is asking.
Yes, sure, sir. I have sent it.
Yeah, see, Agrawal is asking when pods are not created automatically. So that's why we are going with the replica set. Replica set will create pods automatically. Clear, Agrawal? Okay. Still anyone, any questions, please? I have a document regarding this restaurant analogy. I prepare a document. Let me share my screen. Let me show you that image. I have prepared a document. I have prepared an image also. kubectl. Yeah. See, if you look at the screen, just focus on the image. See KATS concepts, analogy. So what is the role of pod? A single chef cooking a dish. So that is a responsible of chef. So pod also runs one application or container. Then replica set, multiple chefs cooking same dish. So ensure the digit number of pods. Then deployment. So the deployment kitchen manager or head cook with a plan. So manages updates and versions your application. So tomorrow we will discuss about this service. Okay. Tomorrow we will update this service. So I have a document also where it is. Yeah. So this is a document. I will provide this document in our repository. Then you can understand more about this pod and deployment replica set service. So tomorrow we will discuss about service. Then I will provide this complete document in the repository with you guys. Depending on the traffic, it will create a number of replicas automatically. Yes, Agarwal. Yes, Hamid. Depending on the traffic. But you have to tell the number. Then only it replica will create parts automatically. If you don't specify the number, it won't create parts automatically based upon the traffic. Yeah. Thank you. Where we have to specify the number. Let me show you. Inside the deployment YAML file only. See, inside deployment YAML file, let me open it. See here, replica set. Here you need to specify the number. Okay. Clear? Okay. Okay, guys, if no questions, we will wind up our session for today. Tomorrow we will continue. Thank you. See you in tomorrow's class. Bye. Good night.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Yeah, so students, they will wind up for the day. Just a reminder, please mark your attendance. If you have missed out to mark an attendance, please mark it. As you all know, attendance is important for the certificate. Okay. Yeah, thank you all for joining. We'll meet again by tomorrow at 7 p.m. Thank you all.